crypto, politics, tech and more. Daily News Digest by News Source Crawler, 05 November 2024. Ed Sheeran wins, crypto, politics, tech and more. Daily News Digest by News Source Crawler, 05 November 2024. Ed Sheeran wins copyright appeal over Thinking Out Loud versus Let's Get It On. Chappell Roan debuts new song The Giver on SNL. Sony Music acquires recorded music catalog of Egyptian superstar Amr Diab. Trump's health pick RFK Jr. touts removing fluoride from water. Elon Musk's canvassing operation sued in California for alleged labor law violations. Trump says those who describe him as a friend of Russia are sick. Kamala Harris's ancestral village in India prays for her election win. Musk lawyers say $1 million prizes weren't awarded by chance, as hearing on Philadelphia District Attorney's suit against the sweepstakes gets underway. NBC gives Donald Trump campaign time during NASCAR race, Sunday Night Football in response to Kamala Harris's SNL appearance, as NBC files equal time notice for Harris's SNL cameo following backlash. New York Post comment as Who Needs an Endorsement? Media has been biased for Kamala Harris from the start. Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway sells Apple's stock and boosts cash pile to record. Grindr illegally used RTO to thwart union, forcing out half of staff, U.S. Labor Board alleges. Germany drops money laundering probe against Russian-Uzbek billionaire Usmanov. Lawyers say. Russian tycoon Usmanov pays €4 million to settle German criminal probe. Angered over BRICS veto, Venezuela recalls ambassador to Brazil. Ukraine slams Google for revealing location of military sites. Northern Ireland named as the UK's future Silicon Valley. U.S. Treasury sanctions 2 Swiss lawyers for aiding Russian clients. Meta says it's making its Llama models available for U.S. national security applications. Instagram plans to use AI to catch teens lying about age. MIT debuts a large language model-inspired method for teaching robots new skills. U.S. chip toolmakers move to cut China from supply chains. U.S. fines global foundries for shipping chips to sanction Chinese firm. Wall Street frenzy creates $11 billion debt market for AI groups buying NVIDIA chips. Endangered bees stop Meta's plan for nuclear-powered AI data center. Peanut the squirrel touches off social media firestorm after New York officials euthanize beloved rodent. Evolution is not as random as previously thought, finds new study. Mark Gurman comments as, Apple finally finds its gaming console with the new Mac Mini. LVMH's empty Chinese megastore signals deepening luxury crash. Goodwill Reju WM partner to bolster textile recycling in North America. MIT engineers create solar-powered desalination system, producing 5,000 liters of water daily. 91% of EU companies report climate-positive activities, in KPMG's taxonomy report. Climate crisis leaves European farmers vulnerable to far-right, say campaigners. Russia suspected of plotting to send incendiary devices on U.S.-bound planes. 2 weeks ago, Russia suspected of planting incendiary device on plane to the UK. South Korea and EU worry about Russia's technology transfer in return for North Korea troops. Indonesian-Russian navies hold first joint drills in Java Sea. CNN reports as Elon Musk's misleading election claims have been viewed more than 2 billion times on X. Analysis finds. Wall Street Journal comments as, Trump isn't perfect but he's the better choice. Reportedly, in the U.S. nearly $1 billion has been spent on political ads over the last week. Robinhood, Kraken, Paxos launch global dollar stablecoin network. BTC drops under $68,000 as Mt. Gox sends $2.2 billion Bitcoin to 2 wallets. Russia to ban Bitcoin mining in key regions due to electricity deficit. Amazon's Prime Video launches AI-generated TV show recaps, promises they're spoiler-free. Perplexity CEO offers AI companies services to replace striking NYT staff. 1 day ago, New York Times tech workers go on strike on eve of 2024 election, alleging unfair labor practices. 1 in 20 new Wikipedia pages seem to be written with the help of AI. Axios comments as 2 potential futures for Trump: the presidency or prison. New York Post reports as Harris botched interview with Muslim influencer by celebrating bacon as a spice. Judge rejects request to block Elon Musk $1 million voter giveaway. Stardew Valley updates strange bug features a wild coyote that kills chickens. Fortnite Chapter 2 Remix teams up with Snoop Dogg, Eminem, and others. Apple explores push into smart glasses with Atlas user study. In the U.S., man arrested and charged with attempting to use a drone carrying an explosive device to destroy an energy facility in Nashville. In Russia, Ministry of Digital Development has proposed creating its own Linux community. 10 days ago, Linus Torvalds affirms expulsion of Russian maintainers. Lyft to pay $2.1 million civil penalty to resolve allegations of misleading drivers about their potential earnings. Scientists create plant-animal hybrid cells that photosynthesize. Archaeologists stumble upon 900-years-old door guardian statues in Cambodia. From Mary Rose, bones from Tudor shipwrecks suggest handedness may influence collarbones. Quincy Jones, music titan who worked with everyone from Frank Sinatra to Michael Jackson, dies at 91. TikTok founder becomes China's richest man. Netflix is removing nearly all of its interactive titles. Crypto, politics, tech and more. Daily News Digest by News Source Crawler, 03 November 2024. 1 in 5 Australians admit they don't wash their hands every time they use the toilet. Drunk animals far more common than previously thought, scientists say. Taliban bans women from hearing other women's voices. Researchers are questioning if ADHD should be seen as a disorder. A study claims ADHD is best understood as a cultural construct. U.S. chemists debunk 100-years-old Brett's rule to change organic chemistry forever. Exposure to sugar rationing in the first 1,000 days of life protected against chronic disease. M4 Max makes short work of 24 cores Intel Ultra 9 285K, outperforming it by 17% in single-core and nearly 16% in multi-core performance. As Apple's new M4 Max is the fastest CPU on the market, and we haven't even seen M4 Ultra. Nvidia set to replace Intel in the Dow Jones Industrial Average. Russia says $20 decillion fine against Google is symbolic. New evidence suggests that dark energy comes from black holes. University of Hawaii astronomers announces that our cosmic neighborhood may be 10x larger, as new map of the universe shows megastructures. SpaceX wants to test refueling starships in space early next year. In the U.S., Congress House Speaker Johnson says GOP may try to repeal CHIPS Act, then walks it back. IMF study claims working from home is powering productivity. Wall Street Journal comments as Elon Musk's robotaxi dreams are premature. Tether's usage rise in time zones that include sanctioned nations. UBS launches its first tokenized fund on Ethereum blockchain. Crypto exchange M2 confirms $13.7 million breach. Says issue resolved within 16 minutes. Parents who use humor have better relationships with their children. Study finds. Comb jellies can transform from adult to juvenile in aging in reverse. Parents trust AI for medical advice more than doctors. Researchers find. Ed Sheeran wins copyright appeal over Thinking Out Loud versus Let's Get It On. Chappell Roan debuts new song The Giver on SNL. Sony Music acquires recorded music catalog of Egyptian superstar Amr Diab. Trump's health pick RFK Jr. touts removing fluoride from water. Elon Musk's canvassing operation sued in California for alleged labor law violations. Trump says those who describe him as a friend of Russia are sick. New York Times editorial board urges voters to choose Harris. Palestinian-American Congresswoman Rashida Tlaib refuses to endorse Harris 3 days before U.S. elections. Kemi Badenoch becomes first black woman to lead UK Conservatives. CNN comments as Putin unlikely to come to the negotiation table, regardless of who wins U.S. election. Ukraine facing one of Russia's most powerful offensives since start of all-out war, Ukraine's commander-in-chief Syrskyi says. North Korean troops could suffer even greater losses in Ukraine than Russia, Estonian intelligence says. Iran vows tooth-breaking response. US B-52 bombers reach Middle East. US warns Iran, we won't be able to restrain Israel if you attack. New scandal engulfs Netanyahu after close aide arrested for alleged intel leak. Moldova holds presidential runoff election amid claims of Russian meddling. Sandu's rival claims support for Ukraine. Moldovan president calls him Moscow's man, as it has been reported that Moldova's pro-Russian presidential candidate defends his Romanian passport. Moldovan presidential challenger Stoyanoglu seeks measured movement to Europe, prepared to meet Putin. Frenchman and German arrested at Russian space site in Kazakhstan. With "That's What They Do," Trump's running mate Vance brushes off Russian election interference. Crypto, politics, tech and more. Daily News Digest by News Source Crawler, 02 November 2024. New documentary reveals that 21,000 laborers have died working on Saudi Vision 2030, which includes NEOM, since construction began. Saudi Arabia's NEOM workers speak of 16 hours workdays, an ITV undercover film. Catastrophic floods in Spain kill at least 95 people. Scientists say climate change made Spanish floods worse. Associated Post sources claim White House altered record of Biden's garbage remarks despite stenographer concerns. Trump sues CBS News for $10 billion alleging deceptive doctoring of Harris's 60 Minutes interview. CNN comments as election officials are outmatched by Elon Musk's misinformation machine. NVIDIA set to replace Intel in the Dow Jones Industrial Average. Google's Big Sleep AI project uncovers real software vulnerabilities. Reuters reports that Walt Disney forms business unit to coordinate use of AI and augmented reality. Japan's Mount Fuji has now remained snowless for the longest time in its 130 years record. Deaths of older people from climate extremes soar. Annual review shows. North Gaza apocalyptic. Everyone at imminent risk of death, warns UN. Elon Musk wants to send 30,000 more Starlink satellites into space, and it has astronomers worried. European Union to build its own satellite internet constellation, as the EU reaches agreement on new satellite constellation Iris. EU's Starlink rival Iris 2 won't offer full service until early 2030s. Apple to invest up to $1.5 billion in Globalstar for satellite coverage expansion. SEC issues Wells notice to Immutable, alleging IMX token violations, as Immutable says SEC is threatening to sue over sales of IMX token. Immutable pledges to fight after SEC sprayed and prayed Wells notice. Frenchman behind Trump Polymarket pump has no political agenda. As reported by Wall Street Journal, UBS launches first tokenized investment fund on Ethereum. Apple offers iPhone 14 Plus service program for rear camera issue with devices which were manufactured between April 10, 2023 to April 28, 2024, will provide service free of charge. OnePlus 13 with Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Elite chipset, 6,000 mAh battery launched in China. Android 16 coming Q2 2025 as Google readies more frequent SDK releases. 1 in 5 Australians admit they don't wash their hands every time they use the toilet. Drunk animals far more common than previously thought, scientists say. Taliban bans women from hearing other women's voices. Researchers are questioning if ADHD should be seen as a disorder. A study claims ADHD is best understood as a cultural construct. U.S. chemists debunk 100-years-old Brett's rule to change organic chemistry forever. Exposure to sugar rationing in the first 1,000 days of life protected against chronic disease. Trump attacks Liz Cheney, saying she wouldn't be a war hawk if guns are trained on her face. Europe's Greens asked Jill Stein to pull out of U.S. election to prevent Trump victory. A California property manager said he voted for Trump 6 times. He's being investigated. ODNI, FBI, and CISA announces that Russian influence actors manufactured a recent video that falsely depicted individuals claiming to be from Haiti and voting illegally in multiple counties in Georgia. North Korea pledges to stand by Russia until victory in Ukraine. Moving to a cashless society is a huge security risk that could be exploited by Russia, Sweden and Norway fear, as they backpedal on plans to go fully digital in shops. Liz Cheney tells George W. Bush to endorse Kamala Harris with its time. Teen Vogue comments as, Kamala Harris is not our savior, but a Donald Trump win would be catastrophic. Avengers stars assemble to endorse Kamala Harris by brainstorming an election catchphrase. The Hill comments as, in bromance Joe Rogan and J.D. Vance yuck it up over Kamala Harris and more. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer moving to NBC, after 5 decades at CBS. Mark Benioff is in talks to sell media company Time to Antenna Group. Takenauts to execute 5th handover on Tiangong Space Station after the docking of Shenzhou 19, demonstrating China's strength in aerospace. Russia's torture of Ukrainian civilians, prisoners is a crime against humanity, UN expert panel says. More than 100 BBC staff accuse broadcaster of Israel bias in Gaza coverage. Displacement in Sudan crosses 11 million. As devastating crisis reaches new heights, announces IOM chief. Pinocchio slasher film from Winnie the Pooh. Blood and Honey team casts horror vets Robert Englund and Richard Brake. New Godzilla movie in the works from Godzilla-1 director Takashi Yamazaki. Tom Cruise in early talks for Days of Thunder sequel. Crypto, politics, tech and more. Daily News Digest by News Source Crawler. 01 November 2024. Indonesia bans sales of Google phones days after blocking Apple's iPhone 16. EU to probe Nvidia's acquisition of RUN.AI after Italy call in. Largest U.S. drone manufacturer says it will need to ration batteries for customers after sanctions by China, as Chinese sanctions hit U.S. drone makers supplying Ukraine. Reuters reports that Chinese researchers develop AI model for military use on back of Meta's Llama. Firewall maker Sophos reveals 5-year battle with Chinese hackers attacking network devices. North Korea announces ICBM launch, Japan and U.S. condemn it. OpenAI CEO Sam Altman says lack of compute capacity is delaying the company's products, and Sam Altman says no GPT-5 this year in Reddit AMA. OpenAI brings a new web search tool to ChatGPT. Amazon CEO reveals new Alexa will work as AI agent. Mark Zuckerberg says a lot more AI-generated content is coming to fill up your Facebook and Instagram feeds. Call of Duty franchise reaches $500 million sales, not even counting Black Ops 6. Game of Thrones movie in early development at Warner Brothers. Cliffhanger reboot gets retooled. Lily James, Pierce Brosnan to star as Sylvester Stallone exits. NFL players push back on media interviews in their locker rooms. 1 month ago, NFLPA calls to move media interviews out of locker rooms to respect players' privacy and dignity. Apple told TikTok it's unfit for young teens. New lawsuit details allege. Cloud Forest in Ecuador could be recognized as songwriter in radical legal proposition. Idris Elba to move to Africa to bolster the film industry. Gerard Depardieu's French actor's sexual assault trial opens in Paris. U.S. actor Armie Hammer teases return to Hollywood after sexual misconduct allegations. 1 year ago, Armie Hammer avoids charges after sex assault investigation, says name has been cleared. GelSight and Meta AI introduced Digit 360 tactile sensor. Quantum Schrodinger's cat survives for a stunning 23 minutes, where light matter entanglement creates Schrodinger cat states. Scientists confirm monkeys do not have the time to write Shakespeare. New documentary reveals that 21,000 laborers have died working on Saudi Vision 2030, which includes NEOM, since construction began. Saudi Arabia's NEOM workers speak of 16 hours workdays in ITV undercover film. Catastrophic floods in Spain kill at least 95 people. Scientists say climate change made Spanish floods worse. AP sources claim White House altered record of Biden's garbage remarks despite stenographer concerns. Trump sues CBS News for $10 billion alleging deceptive doctoring of Harris's 60 Minutes interview. CNN comments as election officials are outmatched by Elon Musk's misinformation machine. The Economist endorses Harris, warns Trump carries unacceptable risks. Kamala Harris says Trump's comments on women are offensive to everybody. Trump says he'll protect women, like it or not, evoking his history of misogyny. Mark Cuban says Trump is never seen with intelligent women, sparking outrage on the right. Mark Cuban issues apology over Trump women remark, with no excuses. Trump insists he has big lead over Harris, setting stage for 2024 doubts, as Trump claims without evidence he's ahead, only fraud will stop him. Boeing dismantles diversity team as pressure builds on new CEO. Time names Ukraine's online wedding service among best inventions of 2024. Crypto, politics, tech and more. Daily News Digest by News Source Crawler 31 October 2024. Meta AI has more than 500 million users. Meta's next Llama AI models are training on a GPU cluster, bigger than anything else. 1 month ago it had been reported as, Meta will soon get a 100,000 GPU cluster too. South Korea's chip production falls for first time in 14 months. Microsoft CFO says OpenAI investment will cut into profit this quarter. Microsoft says AI is on pace to be a $10 billion a year business. Crypto exchange Kraken lays off workers as new co-CEO joins. Coinbase shares fall, as muted crypto trading leads to a third-quarter miss. Guilty FTX executive Nishad Singh dodges prison after cooperating on fraud case. Nintendo launches music app with soundtracks from classic games including Super Mario Bros., Legend of Zelda. Temu to face EU probe over handling of illegal product sales. Ubisoft very silently launches blockchain RPG with playable NFTs that cost up to $63,000. Harris says she will be sadly ready if Trump prematurely claims victory Tuesday. Fortune reports as election betting site Polymarket gives Trump a 67% chance of winning, but is rife with fake wash trading, researchers say. Iran will likely try to contact Americans directly in influence campaign, sources say. Intel posts updated Raptor Lake microcode for Linux, fixes voltage issue and other bugs. Steam now requires developers to tell people when their games have kernel mode anti-cheat. OpenAI releases Simple QA, a factuality benchmark that measures the ability for language models to answer short, fact-seeking questions. Fired Disney staffer accused of hacking menu to add profanity. Wingdings removes allergen info. Study suggests that Jedi rodents remotely move matter using sound to enhance their sense of smell. The owners of a New Zealand volcano that erupted in 2019, killing 22 people, appeal their conviction. It has been commented as Washington Post obliviously admits conservatives are more popular than liberals online, as Washington Post reports that on Elon Musk's X, Republicans go viral as Democrats disappear. The American Spectator comments as, if Trump is such a Nazi, why do 80% of Orthodox Jews support him? Trump announces plan to seize cartel assets to aid families victimized by migrant crime. Grammy Awards to move from CBS to Disney in 2027 with 10-year streaming and broadcast deal. Award-winning creator of Barbie gears up to adapt beloved Narnia series for Netflix. Robert Downey Jr. says he intends to sue all future executives who use his AI replica. Nobel Prize-winning laboratory spins out startup to build antibody cages with AI-designed proteins. NASA's solar sailing spacecraft has a bent boom and is still tumbling in Earth orbit. Black plastic kitchen utensils, takeout containers, even toys linked to cancer-causing chemicals. Mike Johnson vows major changes to Affordable Care Act if Trump wins election. Trump Treasury contender pledges to work with Musk to slash spending. Elon Musk asks voters to brace for economic hardship, deep spending cuts in potential Trump cabinet role. U.S. economy grew at a solid 2.8% pace last quarter, on strength of consumer spending. Trump rides in garbage truck in effort to seize on Biden comment. One day ago, Biden suggests Trump supporters are garbage after comics insult of Puerto Rico. Colorado Secretary of State posted spreadsheet with voting system passwords. Oxfam announces that billionaires emit more carbon pollution in 90 minutes than the average person does in a lifetime, through their investments, private jets and yachts. Brigadier General Buzz Aldrin endorses Donald J. Trump for President of the United States. Arnold Schwarzenegger endorses Kamala Harris with Don't Recognize Our Country, as Arnold Schwarzenegger says he'll reluctantly vote for Kamala Harris. USA Today and its 200-plus local affiliates punt on presidential endorsement. Amazon invests in Spotter, which has paid out more than $940 million to creators. John Krasinski to star in Jack Ryan movie at Amazon MGM Studios as franchise enters new phase of series extension. Wendell Pierce returning and Michael Kelly in talks. Yankee Stadium fans ejected for prying ball from Mookie Betts' glove. CISA announces that JCDC's industry government collaboration speeds mitigation of CrowdStrike IT outage. In Canada, tens of thousands of taxpayer accounts hacked as CRA repeatedly paid out millions in bogus refunds. Hacked info from Italy security databases sold to rich clients, prosecutors say. Mossad agents allegedly bought info on Russia from Italian firm marred in snooping scandal. As massive hack for hire scandal rocks Italian political elites. Washington Post comments as the AI boom may unleash a global surge in electronic waste. Bloomberg comments as AI's $1.3 trillion future increasingly hinges on Taiwan. 46% of NVIDIA's revenue came from 4 mystery customers last quarter. Crypto, politics, tech and more. Daily News Digest by News Source Crawler 3 October 2024. Coinbase brings real-time deposits via debit cards by partnering with Visa. Circle raises USDC redemption fees and plans IPO. Crypto company Consensus cuts 20% of workforce, citing regulatory uncertainty. RFK Jr. said Trump promised him control of HHS and USDA. Supreme Court rules RFK Jr. will appear on battleground ballots despite suspending campaign. Passengers removed from Heathrow plane after fight over Trump MAGA cap. Walz says Trump, Vance need classes on how to talk to women. Biden calls Trump supporters garbage during Harris campaign event, as VP promises unity at a Lips rally. Amid backlash, Trump claims no president has done more for Puerto Rico than he has, and Trump denies knowing comedian who made Puerto Rico joke at his rally. Trump calls Harris a fascist, says he is the opposite of a Nazi. J.D. Vance scheduled to sit down for interview with Joe Rogan, as Vance to sit down with Joe Rogan after Harris appearance scrapped. Washington Post cancellations hit 250,000, the 10% of subscribers. In the U.S., political ads driving increase in TV ad revenue to $36.2 billion, S&P projects. Democrats launch ads in nail salons, malls and final swing state sprint. Schumer pledges to pass anti-Semitism bill in Senate's lame duck session. 3 months ago, Senator Schumer bring the Anti-Semitism Awareness Act of 2023 to the Senate floor. CNN bans guest who suggested Mehdi Hassan's beeper would explode, as right-wing guest booted from CNN mid-segment after vile attack on panelist. In the UK for Southport attack, murder suspect Axel Rudakabana charged after ricin and al-Qaeda manual found. The Economist comments as Ukraine is now struggling to survive, not to win. Trump plans to end Russia's war in Ukraine by freezing it if he wins presidential election, FT reports. South Korea considers sending team to Ukraine to monitor North Korean troops. Ukraine and Russia in talks about halting strikes on energy plants. Heavy rains cause flash floods in Spain's southeast. IEA announces that global market for key clean technologies set to triple to more than $2 trillion over the coming decade as energy transitions advance. In the U.S., airlines now required to provide automatic refunds for canceled, significantly delayed flights. Germany recalls envoy to Iran over execution of German-Iranian national. Europe prepares for America First push no matter who wins the U.S. election. Google Chrome adding performance issue alerts to desktop. Siemens nears deal to buy $9 billion automotive software developer Altair, claimed in a report. AI demand grows Alphabet revenue 15% to $88.3 billion. UK visa process for AI experts should be streamlined, says government advisor. Wall Street Journal reports that Elon Musk's XAI in talks to raise funding valuing it at $40 billion. LinkedIn is introducing hiring assistant for recruiter and jobs as first AI agent. GitHub Copilot will support models from Anthropic, Google, and OpenAI. And GitHub's Octoverse report announces that AI leads Python to top language as the number of global developers surges. Global AI boom to triple EU data center energy use by 2030. Google CEO announces that more than a quarter of new code at Google is generated by AI. Washington Post reports as on Elon Musk's X, Republicans go viral as Democrats disappear. Users spreading U.S. poll misinformation. AI images claim being paid by X, announces in a report. An Elon Musk-funded super PAC is putting out fake pro-Harris ads. As Elon Musk-funded PAC supercharges Progress 2028, Democrat impersonation ad campaign, whereas Progress 2028 may look like a Democratic response to Project 2025, but it's not. The New Republic comments as pro-Trump militias are threatening the election, and Meta lets them. And reportedly, Facebook is auto-generating militia group pages, as extremists continue to organize in plain sight. Toyota and NTT to team on AI self-driving to prevent crashes. Polestar says Biden's China tech ban would effectively prohibit sale of its cars in U.S. In the U.S., reportedly 350K hurricane-flooded cars hit the used market. South Korean national arrested in China on suspicion of espionage. Bloomberg comments as U.S. efforts to contain Xi's push for tech supremacy are faltering. Beijing claims it's found underwater lighthouses that its foes use for espionage. Russian hackers are targeting U.S. officials, Microsoft says. Trump family members and Biden aides among China hacked targets. Fitness app Strava gives away location of Biden, Trump and other leaders, French newspaper says. Reuters reports that Intel CEO Pat Gelsinger fumbled the revival of an American icon. And Intel made a big mistake when CEO offended TSMC, Reuters says. 3 years ago, TSMC says few people will fall for Intel claim that Taiwan is unstable. Previously, Intel CEO calls Taiwan unstable and questions chip dependency on Asia. Then TSMC responds to the claim. OpenAI builds first chip with Broadcom and TSMC, scales back foundry ambition. Linus Torvald slams AI as 90% marketing and 10% reality. In Japan for fake investment fraud, Meta sued for 400 million yen, claiming it failed to investigate. As fake ads impersonating celebrities caused harm by being ignored, lawsuits filed in 5 district courts across the country against Meta. Brazil Institute sues social media giants for $525 million over usage by minors. Reportedly, Japanese manga publisher Shueisha hunts manga pirates but needs Google, PayPal and Visa to assist. 5 months ago, Shueisha DMCA subpoena targets 24 manga piracy sites. X introduces Lightning Notes to show community notes less than 19 minutes from posting. Wall Street Journal comments as X algorithm feeds users political content, whether they want it or not. Trump media is now worth more than Elon Musk's X after stock rallies to new highs. Russia demands Google pay mind-boggling 2 undecillion rubles over YouTube bans. 1 month ago, Russia warns response to U.S. sanctions on RT will make everyone shudder. EU imposes extra tariffs of up to 35% on China EVs, risking Beijing's backlash. Beijing files WTO complaint over EU's new taxes on Chinese EVs. SAG-AFTRA reaches deal on AI protections with digital replica company Ethovox. Apple making Oregon Trail movie, that will be an action comedy with Barbie-style musical numbers, claimed in a report. Hong Kong film, A Light Never Goes Out disqualified from 2024 Oscars due to conflict of interest. Netflix, Universal renew animated movie licensing deal in crypto, politics, tech and more. Daily News Digest by News Source Crawler, 29 October 2024. Digital euro sparks sovereignty battle between EU governments and ECB. North Korean troops are now in Kursk to help Russia, NATO confirms. Orbán congratulates Georgia on not becoming a second Ukraine. Gartner predicts AI agents will transform work, but disillusionment is growing. Open source AI must reveal its training data, per new OSI definition. Polish broadcaster shuts down AI-run radio station after a week following backlash. Philadelphia DA sues Elon Musk's America PAC over $1 million giveaway. Robinhood jumps into election trading, giving users chance to buy Harris or Trump contracts. Steve Bannon is released from prison in time for the last week push to Election Day. 4 months ago, Steve Bannon ordered to report to prison by July 1 to serve contempt of Congress sentence, and 3 months ago, Steve Bannon turns himself into prison after Supreme Court appeal rejected. Google's AI search summaries are rolling out to over 100 more countries. Apple Intelligence rolling out in the European Union starting in April 2025. It has been commented as Apple's commitment to AI is clear, but its execution is uneven. Apple Intelligence goes live with iOS 18.1 update. Meta is reportedly working on its own AI-powered search engine too. OpenAI CFO says 75% of its revenue comes from paying consumers. Claude AI gets bored during coding demonstration, starts perusing photos of national parks instead. Microsoft says Google is running shadow campaigns in Europe to influence regulators. Netflix adds Moments feature allowing users to easily share favorite scenes. Vivendi board approves split into 4 companies, sets December shareholder vote. Concord Music closes $850 million in financing for strategic growth and acquisitions. Russia is getting NVIDIA AI chips from a very unlikely source, an Indian drug firm. U.S. finalizes rules to curb AI investments in China, impose other restrictions. TSMC cuts off at least 2 chip clients over potential Huawei links. Instagram saves the best video quality for the most popular content. Meta releases an open version of Google's podcast generator. Study reveals that Wikipedia users are divided into 3 types, as nosy people, hunters, and dancers. The S&P 500's golden decade of returns is over, Goldman says. NASA generated $76 billion for U.S. economy in 2023, report says. IMF official says Asia clearly the powerhouse of global economy. Pompeii archaeologists discover ancient tiny house with elaborate frescoes. Laser archaeology finds lost Maya cities hidden under forests, as student discovers lost Mayan city in Mexico jungle by accident. Meow Wolf announces opening date. Theme for Houston location. Extremists inspired by conspiracy theories pose major threat to 2024 elections, U.S. intelligence warns. Archbishop of San Juan says Trump needs to personally apologize. One day ago, offensive Latino Puerto Rico jokes at Trump MSG rally launch wave of criticism. NAACP poll says Trump's support among young black men decreasing. Owner Jeff Bezos defends Washington Post decision not to endorse as the right, principled one, as Jeff Bezos defends Washington Post non-endorsement, says Americans don't trust media. Over 200,000 subscribers flee Washington Post after Bezos blocks Harris endorsement. Bloomberg, after months of pressure, donates $50 million to help Harris. TV hits Trump with 85% negative news versus 78% positive press for Harris. Harris caught on hot mic admitting her campaign is struggling with male voters. Fires set in drop boxes destroy hundreds of ballots in Washington and damage 3 in Oregon. Borisov wins Bulgarian elections as vote in favor of crypto, politics, tech and more. Daily News Digest by News Source Crawler 27 October 2024. Number 1 hit and more. YouTube music charts. Global top songs October 11th to October 17th, 2024. Manchardini, AJ Key Rat, Madhubanti Bakshi Divya. Die with a Smile, Lady Gaga and Bruno Mars.
Si antes te hubiera conocido. Karol G.
Soltera Shakira. Birds of a Feather Billie Eilish. Ayinai, Amitabh Bhattacharya. Shudamal, Shilpa Rao. Bye 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 NSYNC. Gata Only, Floy Menor and Chris MJ. Top hits on Apple Music 27 October 2024. Love Somebody Morgan Wallen. 25 Rod Wave. What You Can Know About Me. Glorilla Sexy Red. Birds of a Feather Billie Eilish. Wildflower Billie Eilish. Spotify Weekly Top Songs Global. From the Friday, October 11th to Thursday, October 17th, 2024. Die with a Smile Lady Gaga Bruno Mars. Birds of a Feather Billie Eilish. Who Jimin. Taste, Sabrina Carpenter.
Espresso, Sabrina Carpenter.
Si antes te hubiera conocido, Karol G. Timeless with Playboy Cardi. The Weeknd Playboy Cardi. Sailor Song Gigi Perez. Please Please Please, Sabrina Carpenter. From the Netflix Global Top 10 list of October 14th to October 20th, 2024. Weekly list of the most viewed films in English. Lonely Planet. Woman of the Hour. Sweet Bobby My Catfish Nightmare. The Menendez Brothers. Sing. Weekly list of the most viewed films, non-English. Justice. The Shadow Strays. Uprising. Outside. Trouble. The Platform 2. From the Netflix Global Top 10 list of October 14th to October 20th, 2024. Weekly top lists of the most watched TV in English. Outer Banks, Season 4. The Lincoln Lawyer Season 3. Nobody Wants This, Season 1. Weekly top lists of the most viewed TV, non-English. Deceitful Love, Limited Series. The Secret of the River, Season 1. Dan Dan Dan. Nintendo US Digital Bestsellers, from 27 October 2024. Super Mario Party Jamboree. Hogwarts Legacy. The Legend of Zelda. Echoes of Wisdom. Boomerang Fu. Stardew Valley. Among Us. Minecraft. Top paid Android games on Google Play US. 4/27 October 2024. Minecraft. Play with Friends. Balatro. Geometry Dash. Bloons TD6. Apple App Store for iPhone. Top paid games, from 27 October 2024. Minecraft. Play with Friends. Balatro. Heads Up. Bloons TD6. Plague Incorporated Geometry Dash. Steam's hottest games. Global top selling and top played games across Steam. From the top 100 products by revenue for Tuesday, October 15, 2024 to Tuesday, October 22, 2024. Counter-Strike 2. Throne and Liberty. Dragon Ball. Sparking. 0. PUBG Battlegrounds. Liars Bar. Esports FC 25. CISA's cybersecurity alerts and advisories. CISA releases 1 Industrial Control Systems advisory, 4 Iconics and Mitsubishi Electric products. CISA adds 1 known exploited vulnerability to catalog for Microsoft SharePoint deserialization vulnerability. 1 more drop in the AI ocean. Stability AI Stable Diffusion 3.5 Large. Stable Diffusion 3.5 Large is a multimodal diffusion transformer, MMDT, text-to-image model that features improved performance in image quality, typography, complex prompt understanding, and resource efficiency. Russia provided targeting data for Houthi assault on global shipping. Putin says Moscow will respond if West helps Ukraine to strike deep into Russia. It has been commented as Ukraine's deep strikes on ammo depots and weapons factories across Russia aim to weaken its war machine. Russian arms group warns it may halt exports as Ukraine war demands surge. Nearly 1 in 4 French people believe that democracy is not the best political system. Hard-right Dutch government approves unprecedented package of measures to control migration. Italy's Meloni government pays homage to fascist defeat in key World War II battle, sparking opposition criticism. President of Iran says, "We will respond to any stupidity with tact and intelligence." Iran should not make mistake of responding to Israel's retaliatory strikes, announces U.S. Biden says Israel apparently only hit Iran military sites, with "my hope is this is the end." Israel sent message to Iran ahead of attack and warned against response. FTX reaches $228 million deal with crypto company Bybit. Victims sue WazirX over $235 million hack in class action lawsuit. JP Morgan Chase, Wells Fargo and Bank of America refuse to define unauthorized transaction, as customers lose $320 million to scams on Zelle, claims a report. Russia publishes new crypto law expanding state control over digital assets. Wall Street to surpass Satoshi as top Bitcoin holder this year. Analysts expect $200,000 BTC soon. Bank of England to press on with digital currency in case banks fall short, Bailey says, and Bitcoin will not replace cash, Bank of England Governor Bailey says. Tom Hanks says he and Forrest Gump co-star Robin Wright picked up right where we left off when reuniting for new film. Aardman and Mattel to co-develop Pingu animated TV series. Real Housewives of London coming in 2025 from Hayu and Made in Chelsea producer. Fandom has toxified the world, says Watchmen author Alan Moore on superheroes, Comicsgate and Trump. Hideo Kojima games have already gotten big reappraisals 5 to 10 years after release. Now the auteur says he wants to make games that will impress space aliens centuries into the future. James Cameron says the reality of artificial general intelligence is scarier than the fiction of it. Montreal dockworkers to launch one-day strike amid labor standoff. French Caribbean island of Guadeloupe orders a curfew a day after a strike prompted a blackout. Elderly workers now dominate South Korea's labor force as population ages. China's homegrown ARJ-21 jetliner will start its commercial operation in central China's Hubei. Boeing weighs options for troubled Starliner space program. TSMC Tech and Huawei's AI chips raises questions about porous supply chain, and TSMC halts shipments to SoftBank after chip found in Huawei AI processor. China has punished 589,000 people for graft in 9 months. In Argentina, the country's third-largest social security institution was raided for alleged money laundering. In the U.S., Alibaba agrees to $433.5 million settlement in shareholder lawsuit. The Fediverse is getting its own TikTok competitor called Loops. TSMC faces severe challenges as free trade falters, founder says. Google prepares AI that takes over computers. Bulgarians head to the polls to vote in 7th general election in 3 years. And far-right tip to gain ground as jaded Bulgarians vote again. EU leader denounces Russia's hybrid war, aiming to destabilize Western Balkan democracies. Montenegro's 2028 EU entry goal is reachable, von der Leyen says. Biden says, Elon Musk was an illegal worker when he began U.S. career, and Elon Musk claps back at Puppet Biden as he accuses Tesla CEO of breaching student visa norms. Donald Trump meets with Blue Origin execs the same day Washington Post declines to endorse a presidential candidate. The Guardian's The Observer editorial comments as, Americans who believe in democracy have no choice but to vote for Harris. Satellite photos show Israel hit Iran former nuclear weapons test building. Missile facilities, researchers say. Israel's first open attack on Iran targets missile sites and apparently spares oil and nuclear ones. International court prosecutor who charged Netanyahu faces sexual misconduct accusation. Georgia's jailed former president says, Putin's Russia is not ready for a new hot war. A new Iron Curtain could protect us from Putin, says Polish president. Lukashenko says Russian annexation of Belarus means war. Rheinmetall to establish 4 defense factories in Ukraine, and Rheinmetall begins links fighting vehicle production in Ukraine. Rare Sahara floods bring Morocco's dried-up south back to life. Slowing ocean current could ease Arctic warming. A little. Zelensky signs law allowing foreigners to serve as officers in Ukrainian military. Ukraine's Zelensky says North Korean troops are poised to join the war. Cancels UN chief's visit. Putin once asked Elon Musk to not activate Starlink over Taiwan, as a favor to Xi Jinping, says in a report. Trump praises Chinese president for controlling citizens with an iron fist. Australia rejects visa application by right-wing U.S. pundit Candace Owens. Conor McGregor to face sexual assault allegation in upcoming civil trial. 16 vloggers, TikTokers arrested in Pakistan's Punjab for spreading fake news of rape. 40% of men in Japan feel awkward at work after taking paternity leave. In Thailand, retirement age to go up to 65, as announced by the ministry. UK to reduce benefit cuts for indebted households, Guardian says. EU urged to create intelligence body to counter external threats. Kazakhstan and Uzbekistan elevated to BRICS partner status as alliance expands, as 13 countries receive BRICS partner status. Bangladesh bans student wing of ousted Sheikh Hasina's party. After promising full self-driving updates for years, Elon Musk finally admits that most existing Teslas may never be able to drive themselves. Mazda's new EREV promises 800 miles range, charges 30% to 80% in 15 minutes. Germany's Mercedes sees profits nosedive on weak China sales. Mercedes-Benz and Porsche hit by weak sales in China. Vietnam to halt flights at 4 airports as Storm Trami nears. Storm Trami poses flood risks in central Vietnam. At least 126 dead and missing as Tropical Storm Trami batters the Philippines. Large Pacific storm system to bring rain, gusty winds and maybe thunder to Pacific Northwest. Hurricane Christy strengthens into a Category 5 storm in the Pacific Ocean. U.S. Labor Board wrongly ordered Tesla's Musk to delete anti-union tweet. Court rules. UK banks facing billions more in payouts after auto loan ruling. Lloyds suffers £3 billion hit after car finance court ruling. Russia raises interest rate to 21%, its highest in decades. Putin ally warns most companies in Russia face collapse. The dodo was not fat and clumsy study debunks the image we have of the most famous extinct bird. Daylight saving time clock changes have substantial, but short-lived effect on how much sleep we get. Standing desks are bad for your health, according to a new study, as standing desks do not reduce risk of stroke and heart failure, study suggests. Washington Post publisher says he killed Kamala Harris endorsement, not Jeff Bezos, said in a report. 1 year ago, Washington Post taps former Dow Jones chief William Lewis as new CEO. New York City Mayor Adams refutes Kamala Harris, says Trump is not a fascist as he urges Democrats to dial down the temperature. Trump floats ending the federal income tax. North Korea says, any troop deployment to Russia is in regulations of international law. The American Spectator comments as Kim Jong-un pushes South Korea and the world to the brink of war. U.S. approves $2 billion in arms sales to Taiwan, including advanced missile defense system. China vows to take countermeasures over U.S. and Taiwan $2 billion arms deal. China expanding nuclear arsenal at most rapid pace, may junk no first-use policy, says U.S. South Africa has amended its research guidelines to allow for heritable human genome editing. Canadian Senate unanimously supports bill to enforce sterilization of Indigenous women. Japan's ruling coalition to lose parliamentary majority, exit polls show. Georgia's ruling party wins pivotal election, Early results show as opposition parties cry foul. Uzbekistan set to elect parliament loyal to president. Iran's nuclear facilities have not been impacted by Israeli strikes, a chief says. IDF claims to have found Hezbollah bunker full of cash and gold under Beirut hospital. China's leader has a new military secretary. State TV video of rocket force visits suggests. Iran says 4 soldiers killed. Radar systems hit in Israeli strikes. Iran should not respond to Israeli strikes, UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer says. US warns Iran against retaliation, says it pushes for ceasefire deals in Gaza and Lebanon after Israeli strikes. Iran says Israeli jets struck Iran from Iraqi airspace. US therefore complicit. Notorious hacker group Team TNT launches new cloud attacks for crypto mining. CERT-UA identifies malicious RDP files in latest attack on Ukrainian entities. In France, hacker claims to have stolen data of 19 million free subscribers and 5 million IBANs. Philippines strengthens South China Sea strategy with $56 million Thitu Island upgrade. Top Chinese military commander visits Vietnam for talks on closer cooperation. China and Japan agree to boost maritime cooperation. In India, working with international agencies, Intelligence Bureau to ban hoax bomb perpetrators, announced by Aviation Minister Naidu. Israeli forces kill Hamas operative in Tulkarem plotting imminent attack. Poland arrests 4 in plot to mail explosives to Canada and U.S. SCMP comments as to be a Belt and Road education hub, Hong Kong must teach in Mandarin. Commonwealth leaders say time has come for discussion on UK slavery reparations. British lawmakers accuse Starmer of colonial mindset in slavery reparations debate. Recently, Starmer says he's open to talks on UK's past slave trade. Saudi Arabia begins construction of the world's largest building that could fit 20 empire states inside. Biden says, men voting for Trump making mistake. Michelle Obama admits fear that Donald Trump could retake White House. Joe Rogan asked Donald Trump for specifics on how 2020 was stolen, then could only laugh at the answer. India hoping presidential election will not affect partnership with U.S. Former CEO of the defunct digital mine faces Bitcoin fraud charges to the tune of $1.5 million. Barcelona and Real Madrid legends accused of endorsing a €3 billion crypto Ponzi. Litecoin's 2.6 years HODL time ranks second only to Bitcoin beats Ethereum. North Korean hackers use fake NFT game to steal wallet credentials, claims a report. New Google cyber attack warning comes as Russian APT-28 hackers strike with new cyber attack warning, confirming you are not a robot can be dangerous. Transact data breach exposes 92K users, employee phishing attack, ransomware group claims responsibility. Layer K announces new feature set tailored for blockchain content creators. Coinbase introduces Based Agent for creating AI agents in 3 minutes. The Telegraph comments as after Israel's strike, Iran's ailing theocracy may be entering its dying days. Tehran air defense system shoots down Israeli-launched retaliatory airstrikes. Israel met all its objectives in Iran's strike, Netanyahu says. U.S. calls for Tehran's restraint. France and Europe need to get finances in order, ECB SNOT says, and ECB must stay nimble on rates because of weak economy, NOT says. Europe's still best place to live, Irish central bank chief says. Bundesbank chief is mad at Russia's calls for global cooperation. Montenegro's 2028 EU entry goal is reachable, von der Leyen says. Nearly 1 in 4 French people believe that democracy is not the best political system. Hard-right Dutch government approves unprecedented package of measures to control migration. Zimbabwe leader declines party's offer to stay until 2030. Venezuela accuses Lula of staging accident to justify BRICS veto. Pope Francis Catholic Church reform process ends without giving more equity to women. Graphene oxide and chitosan sponge found to be 10 times more efficient at removing gold from e-waste. Quantum secret of hydrogen bonds in liquid water revealed for the first time. LRA rebel commander jailed in Uganda for war crimes in landmark case. In New York City, Queens gun traffickers sold assault rifles and brought inoperable RPG to NYC, authorities say. In Mexico, Sheinbaum proposes giving oil to Cuba to end blackouts, with whatever the Cuban people require. In the U.S., at least 75 people are sickened as the deadly McDonald's E. coli outbreak expands. Nigeria donates 1,000 doses